Do you know the scariest thing? The mirror. No, worse than that, the camera on your phone. No, worse than that, real skin texture that you cannot escape yet every single screen that you ever see. Everyone's skin is as flawless and smooth as a baby's butt. Why are we even thinking about babies' butts? Why is that even a saying?
Uh-oh. You have butt face.
Truly, I hope that you've seen images like these, where celebrities are done up to the nines, they're out at a lovely event. But you may be saying, oh, I've never seen them look like that. That's because, my friend, most of the photos that you see online are indeed edited. Except for if you go and look at Getty Images, because in 2017, Getty, in order to comply to French law, decided to make sure that no photo editing was actually able to be done on people's bodies, but, big but here, photographers can still submit photos that they have edited. So say for example, skin texture, a blemish here and there, maybe a few wrinkles, just soften that out. So whilst you won't see AI images on Getty, nor will you see heavily photoshopped bodies, you may actually still see some photo fixing to be done. However, I've actually spent 4 hours today going through celebrity photos to find a selection where we can actually see real skin texture. Another huge contributing factor to Getty doing this was because of actual customer feedback. Getty did their own research from users, and people kept looking for images which showed more realistic and authentic representations of women. Search term unfiltered has gone up 219% over the past year, authenticity has increased 104%, and real life up 99%. Basically, people want to see reality, but this was back in 2017 when filters and Photoshop was not anywhere close to as good as what we have it today. In 2017, the most popular Snapchat filter was the dog filter. But it wasn't just a regular puppy filter. It widens your eyes, thins your face, smooths your skin, just like the pretty filters did. But all of the puppy elements added this layer of fun, and so you could kind of have this plausible deniability because you're not really using a real filter, you're just using a fun filter. It's totally fine. It's not also because it makes your skin look really good and you don't have to wear makeup in order to be able to look good. Even though I think that I don't think that anyone needs to wear makeup to look good. We do this stuff for fun, at least I do. And yes, places where people got filler and Botox tried to rise to the challenge, and even some created a challenge out of it, including this place, which I'm not going to show the name of because I don't want to give them any advertising, but I will show you what they did to their brand new employee, Crystal, because they decided to see if they could match the filter by doing this stuff to her face. Welcome to the job, time to stab you and use you as our experiment. Here they are pointing out all of the changes the filter made to Crystal's face, including smoothing the complexion. But they also missed out how it lightened her complexion, which is something which the Snapchat filters got widely called out for because, yeah, it was really bad. And I would say some of the filters still do that to this day. So they tried to make Crystal look just like the filter. They have it before and an after, and they even compared to the Snapchat filter. They think that they got pretty close. We are in Black Mirror right now, aren't we? Can you ask the writers to ease up a bit? And this was way back in 2017, and editing has only gotten better since then. Editing has only gotten more subtle, more accurate, and more discreet, so the untrained eye won't even be able to pick it up easily. And heck, like I've said before, our little monkey brains, you see something on the screen, you see a person on the screen, you think that is them. Even if we're telling ourselves it's not, you are still absorbing the fact that that image is a person. And so it distorts your reality, as this study shows. Again, I talked about it more here. Sometimes there are legitimate reasons to use a photo editing app like Lightbox, I believe it is, because especially for dark-skinned people, you can actually make sure that the contrast works to be able to show your makeup off. Because again, you know how much I adore makeup, right? And so I know one person who absolutely does this. It's Donnie Darkowitz or Taj, and I love their work so much. But that's not smoothing out skin, that's playing with contrast to be able to actually show the work that you've done, because again, makeup is artistry. But that's not really the reason most people are using the apps, is it? I understand how insecure skin issues can make us. I grew up with acne, cystic acne even, and no, that doesn't just disappear when you hit 20 years old. Trust me, I've still dealt with that until my 30s. I'm 34 right now. I still deal with the odd breakout. I've got a couple of little whiteheads right up here. It's very annoying, and I can feel one growing right here. Life has been very stressful, what can I say? I used to feel like I had to wear foundation every single day, and I'm not on about light little coverage, I'm on about the highest coverage foundation you could get slapped on my face, because I wanted to mask every spot. I wanted to mask all of my large pores. I wanted to mask me, effectively. Even recently, anytime I've done makeup, which you know I love to do, I felt like I needed to have a full coverage base, otherwise it didn't look right. But that's been changing over the last month thanks to the sponsor of this video, Typology. They're a cruelty-free and vegan skincare brand, which is really important to me because I only buy cruelty-free, vegan, not owned by parent companies that test on animals, makeup and skincare products. And before I even accepted this sponsorship, I looked into them before accepting it. They're based in France, which is incredibly stringent when it actually comes to animal testing laws, and everything is vegan. Their philosophy is to only use the essentials in products, and their packaging is not only recyclable, but made from 80% recycled material. And they're also B Corp certified, which means that they undergo a third-party assessment, which measures their social and environmental performance and transparency of their supply chain, treatment of their workers. And again, you know how much I care about the environment, workers' rights, and workers' treatment, so this made me really happy to actually see a company doing this stuff. I've been doing for my base, including today, as I'm going to show you right now. I applied that tinted serum. I use the shade Type 1 Fair. It is a perfect shade match for me. Something I've never gotten from any foundation before. Normally I have to mix 2 to 3 different shades. So this made my life so much easier. It has vitamin C, which is an active ingredient which helps to reduce pigmentation spots. It provides a light coverage, and I use it to even out my skin tone, but you can still see my skin. There's no cakiness. I use about 4 to 5 drops to cover my face and neck, and it doesn't feel like I'm wearing more than my daily SPF. I then dot their tinted concealer in the shade Type 1 Fair under my eyes. Ever since I was a little child, I've had dark circles under my eyes, and that doesn't really match the sort of artistic look that I like to create on my face. It has caffeine in it, which my skin adores, and it helps to reduce puffiness, something which I really need because my life has been incredibly stressful. You only need the tiniest amount as this is so pigmented. And if I'm dealing with a breakout like this little one here, I pop a tiny dot there and blend it with a brush or a sponge, and voila, it's no longer competed with the artwork which I make. It's like the clean girl look of skin, minimal base but maximum eyes, as you know I like to do. They also sent me their tinted lip oils, and here's some swatches for you to be able to see. They provide a nice hint of colour. They're infused with squalene, which is derived from olives, which helps the lips feel moisturised for longer, and jojoba oil, which creates a protective film over the lips. It feels so comfortable on and leaves my lips feeling pillowy soft, not sticky. My favourite of all the colours is Black Cherry, which in my opinion is a dupe for Chanel's Black Honey, which was incredibly popular in the 90s. Right now I've got a dark lip liner on with Black Cherry on top, and it just feels so nice and nourished. I genuinely do not feel like I've got makeup on my lips, just nice and moisturized. I finished things off by using their fortifying brow gel in blonde, which keeps my brows locked in place, and it's genuinely the fastest I've ever done my brows. I just really like the fact that you can see my skin. I don't wear makeup to hide myself, I wear it because it's fun. And by challenging myself with a lighter coverage like this tinted serum, it's helped my relationship with my skin. And I've got a deal for you just for 1 week after this video goes live. If you click my link below and spend $40 or more at Typology, you get a free Biphase Eye Makeup Remover. But it's only for a limited time, 1 week after this video goes live, so get clicking. Thanks Typology for sponsoring this video. But my skin looks terrible! You might as well call me Alice because I've been down so many rabbit holes for this video and a number of other videos, let's be real. Especially Reddit and TikTok. And the same thing comes up time and again. People taking up close photos and videos of their skin and lamenting how, quote, gross it looks. As someone who is very well versed in ruthlessly picking apart every part of their body and their skin, even when I was a child scratching out photos of myself, I can tell you I know exactly how this feels. People are pleading out to the internet asking what they can do to fix their skin texture, pointing out their issues with the orange peel skin, which if you didn't know is just, you know, having visible pores on your skin, and then it gets called this, which is wonderful. They're posting close-up pictures of their forehead, worried about their skin texture. But the skin texture most times is genuinely just skin. Skin never is meant to look poreless or super smooth or flawless. That is a hugely unrealistic expectation that is only possible by perhaps about 1% of the population, and that is only normally with a hell of a lot of help. But most of the time when it comes to these pictures or these issues that people are posting about, it's just skin. It's just normal skin. We really aren't that unused to seeing real skin. Sometimes someone may be wearing too much foundation, and if you apply that and it dries and then you keep on applying it, you can start to get little flakies. But also you can get that if you're using a makeup brush that has yesterday's product on it. And this is your reminder, once again, even though I've done this nearly every single year, please wash your makeup brushes once a week, and the products that you use directly on your face, for your foundation, wash those every day, whether it's a brush or a sponge, please. If having clear skin is a priority for you, washing your tools is incredibly important. Otherwise, that is a one-way trip to Breakout City, my friend. Somehow, through a combination of unrealistic expectations, we expect skin to be silicone-like, smooth, wrinkle-free, and pore-free. And if you saw skin like that in an adult in real life, it would be a bit like watching this scene from Bicentennial Man. Every adult has skin texture. Everyone has pores. Some people's pores are more visible, like mine. Other people's pores may be smaller. Something which comes up really often is people are concerned that their skin, quote, looks dirty. This is something which I've personally dealt with as well, and that's because of this thing called sebaceous filaments, which this dermatologist explains. Sebaceous filaments are tube-like structures in the walls of the pores. You may recognize them as tiny dark dots on your face. They're part of the normal anatomy of our skin. They help guide the excess of oil and debris that can accumulate inside of a pore or hair follicle out. Sebaceous filaments tend to be most prominent on the nose and chin, but can occur anywhere there are oil glands. And most importantly, although sebaceous filaments may look a lot like blackheads, they're usually a tan or grey colour, unlike blackheads, and serve an important purpose, meaning you should leave them alone. This comes from Dr. Dendy Engelman, a board-certified dermatologist in New York City. In other words, put down the nose strip. Maybe that's just a millennial thing that so many of us went through. Did you go through that phase? A sebaceous filament is just oil and keratin, no bacteria, they are not harmful. And squeezing them is a no-no. Using too much pressure can traumatize the outer skin layer, leading to breakages, scabs, or even infections. And if you won't listen to a dermatologist, maybe you'll listen to me, because I will actually zoom in for you here. Okay, maybe if I turn this off, maybe you can see a bit better. Do you see these extra big pores? How it's almost like two have combined into one? That's from squeezing. Don't. Listen to your Auntie Bryony, okay? I've made many mistakes in my life so that other people can learn from them. Like I said, I'm not flawless. You're not flawless. But I want to save your skin a little bit. And if that doesn't help you, every time that you lean up close to a mirror and you're starting to think about squeezing something, I want you to play this clip in your head.
Stop pooping.
But instead of
Pooping.
you say, stop squeezing, because seriously, stop it. You're actually going to make things worse for future you. And now that shall remain in your mind forever. You're welcome.
All this extra, this super definition, every crook, crevice, nook and cranny, exposed.
Does anybody else feel like our phones are making this worse? This came up on Patreon too, but has your phone ever made you look worse than you do in the mirror? I'm not on about the mirroring effect here, I'm on about making your texture seem 10 times worse, making your pores super prominent, making your tiny crinkles into deep cavernous wrinkles. iPhones especially have been very guilty of this, with so many TikToks showing people struggling, coming to terms with their new iPhones and wishing that they had the camera of their old ones, and finding all these weird workarounds. One person has even suggested, instead of taking photos of yourself, take a screenshot whilst you're taking a photo, so then you get a lower quality picture. What? Are we this unused to skin texture, or is technology making things too crisp? So for you, because I care, I went and did an experiment. All I'm wearing is my daily SPF and my Typology products. Again, I've been testing this stuff for a month, okay? So the only changes are the camera that I'm using, whether it's the front-facing camera or the back-facing camera on my phone. So I went for a walk, and using the front-facing camera, this was the result I got. And then I turned it around, and this is the result from the back camera. That's from a haunted house mirror, I told you. I was scared. And this wasn't even in direct sunlight. This was on a cloudy day. The best kind of days to get photography of people, because you have a diffused light. Even that couldn't save me from the horrors of this. Front-facing camera and back-facing camera, where I went on a different walk in a different location. And for some reason, the photos and videos look better here, even though, again, leafy backdrop, everything's sort of the same. The only difference is that I'm wearing falsies, literally, when it comes to my makeup look. What I'm trying to point out to you here is sometimes our phones are not our best friends. And you know that old adage of you look and feel great when you're looking in the mirror, and then you see a photo of yourself and you hate yourself? Yeah, sometimes these things are out to get us, I swear. Is it a conspiracy to make us feel worse about ourselves and therefore we buy more? Is that what it's part of? Or is it just the fact that we can't handle real skin texture because we haven't seen it for so many years, because technology wasn't good enough to actually capture that?
My hairline is so weird. My pores are huge. My nail beds suck.
Let's talk about these unrealistic skin expectations that many of us hold. These words are going to hurt some people, but you cannot shrink your pores. They are largely determined by genetics, and they also increase in size as you age. We try to embrace aging on this channel, but that little fact does bother me a bit because pores have always been a big insecurity of mine ever since I was like turning into a teenager. Oh, I've always hated them, and they've only grown over the years, and I'm now 34, going to be 35 in a month. Oh, there are things you can do to minimize their appearance, but actually shrinking them, not something that anyone can do. And if someone is trying to sell you something that says that they can do that, they're lying to you, because physically, scientifically, that cannot be done. Taking care of your skin is a good thing. Wearing SPF every day is a really good thing. But expecting your skin to look like this or this or this, that's not reality. Sadly, ever since photography was a thing, photo manipulation has happened right from the start. Even Victorians were making their waists look smaller. They were making their skin look smoother. So many alterations were happening. Again, the historical fashion girlies have done deep dives into this, so I don't need to rehash all of this stuff. But photo manipulation has genuinely happened for decades at this point, before we even all had these apps on our little torture devices here to be able to do that for us. We all know the trick of smearing Vaseline all over the lens to give this ethereal glow to things, which was done a lot in daytime TV to make people have this soft focus around them. It helped to blur all of their wrinkles and crinkles, and it made everything look kind of dreamy and hazy, which, it's kind of like having beer goggles in a way. Everybody has skin texture, and no, it is not scary. Despite this, I see people of all ages worried about their skin texture, when in fact it's just skin looking like skin. Even people with really good clear skin are worried about what their texture is on their face, and it looks like skin. Skin is never meant to look like this silicone, almost doughy sort of look. It's almost like people expect us to look like the first CGI Disney princess, Rapunzel from Tangled. This is the sort of skin texture it feels like people ideally want, something which, again, cannot be achieved. What really breaks my heart is this happens to people of all ages at each different stage of life. Even tweens are worried about getting wrinkles in the future because they're deemed to be such a bad, scary thing. And I could go on for a day and an age around people's disgust around acne and also the marks it leaves behind afterwards. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you don't squeeze or anything. Sometimes you will still get those little pock marks, and people really, really shame you for that. It's disgusting. Okay, I'm going to show you something. Here are our wedding photos. Beautiful, right? Let's zoom right on in. So what I actually did before we got married in March of 2020, 1 week before the world changed forever, very fortunate timing. I promise I didn't curse the world. I promise. My kind of curse would be something very different. No editing happened to this picture other than color correction, which my lovely photographer Dan did from Dear White Productions. I will have them linked for you down below because they're amazing. I love them so much. It's not sponsored, I just like to shout out a good company. Like I said, I suffer from acne, including cystic acne, for many years, and what I did was I went for 3 professional appointments to get microneedling done. I'm not about like those little tiny rollers. I'm on about like proper medical grade rollers, which you are not allowed to actually buy yourself. I went through those incredibly painful procedures to try and reduce my scarring, to try and reduce my pore size. Again, I had these unrealistic expectations that my pores would be able to vanish if I tortured my skin enough, but that's not going to happen because that's a genetic thing which has been kindly handed down to me. Great. Along with all of the oily skin I have to deal with too. Thanks. So fun. But the truth is, nothing's going to make my skin look poreless in reality other than photo editing after the fact and creating this false reality, which is something I personally do not want to contribute to. That's why you don't see edited photos, videos of me. I may use lighting, like I use a ring light because the lighting in this temporary accommodation isn't great, okay? And you can see my skin texture in our wedding photos. You can see all of my acne scars. And when I got these photos back, in all honesty, I was really taken aback. I was like, oh God, do I look that bad? That was what I was thinking about my wedding photos. This is what I mean when I say it's taken me a long time to get to this point where I am comfortable enough to show all of my flaws. This is where I need your help because personally, I haven't seen leading actresses, romantic leads actresses who actually have large pores. because this is something which I personally think is a beauty standard which hasn't really been toppled yet. I remember growing up watching the Thomas Crown Affair, you know, before Pierce Brosnan tried to sing.
Where are those happy days? They seem so hard to find.
And being actually shocked at Renee Russo's skin. I was like, she's considered to be beautiful because, of course, you would have to be beautiful. And like, I'm a tween right now. This is a tween's mind. And so to be a romantic lead, you have to be a beautiful person. And to have someone like Pierce Brosnan want you, you must be super beautiful. But I still clearly remember growing up and seeing her pause. And this was on a fatback TV. We're not on about a big screen here. Just a regular TV that people would own back in, what, 2000-ish? And I was shocked I say, to see someone considered to be beautiful who had large pores. But since then, I haven't seen another romantic lead, someone that would be considered to be beautiful, actually having that sort of skin type. So you tell me, because I personally haven't seen this representation. And that's just Western beauty standards. When I look at K-beauty standards, that's another level, because it feels like pores don't even exist. I remember actually seeing this TikTok here. I think that may be the one reference I've seen to potentially bad skin. But other than that, it's just like this beautiful porcelain skin glow in the world where pores don't exist. If we're on about pressure, K-beauty pressure, whew. I think a really big part of the problem is when you look in the mirror, what you can see with your eyes is not the entire picture of your face. Whereas what happens when you're capturing something on a camera is your face kind of gets shrunk in a way. So then you're actually seeing the entirety of all of the quote-unquote flaws. Like every aspect of your face is actually caught on camera. And like I said, cameras and technology have just gotten that much better. And it does capture that in live action as well. However, we haven't really ever seen ourselves like this because, I mean, cameras in the past weren't really all that great. And then you went on to printing photos, and those tended to be like 6 inches by 4 inches, or however much that is in centimeters. And then you get more and more onto your phone, and that used to get compressed heaps. But now, because again, technology has gotten that much better, we really are seeing the entirety of our face. And it is quite confronting because, like I said, our eyes aren't used to seeing all of this stuff. So it does kind of have this effect on your mind where you don't recognize yourself in a way, and you can, quote, look worse than how you do in the mirror or something, because our eyes aren't really meant to capture all of this. We're not really seeing all of these quote-unquote flaws on everybody else because you're normally standing at a, conversation distance away from others. Every picture that you post now is not quite this uncanny valley, it's this hyper-realism, and I don't think that we're actually used to it yet. Like, are you comfortable seeing yourself with all of this stuff? Because it's still taking me time to get used to. Yes, like I said, I've already been very open about my body dysmorphic disorder that I've dealt with in the past and all of my other issues, which, I've laid very bare in this video as well. But have you found this to be a confronting thing for you as well? And if you haven't found this to be a confronting thing, what are your secrets? Because I do think this is one of those learning curves that we kind of need to go on. The best piece of advice I can give to you to let go of your skin fears is to step away from the mirror, step away from the phone, as in what you need to do is be at a conversation distance. So think about this sort of distance that I'm showing on the screen right now. Be that far away from someone and see how much you can see all of their quote-unquote flaws on their skin. See how much you're fixating on that. Can you see every little pore on their face in the same way where you can if you're holding up your phone to like here and then you're looking at yourself? No, we were not made to look at ourselves this closely. It didn't do any good for Narcissus, it won't do any good for us. We are not meant to be looking at ourselves through a magnifying glass, nor doing that to other people. The only people that need to do that are the people that are doing a mole check, for sun damage, and also dermatologists. Just leave them to that, and you also don't have to see what they're seeing as well, okay? Because you'll just hurt yourself, alright? Everyone has different skin, just like everyone's got different fingerprints, everyone's got different eyes, everyone is different everything. There is no one ideal that everyone should be forced into, and you shouldn't be shamed for things that you've inherited, things which are out of your own control. And skin texture, pore size, all that sort of stuff, That's stuff that we can't control. And also, these people who do have amazing skin, they tend to have a lot of money. Even all of these beautiful celebrities, and I do consider all of these celebrities who I've been showing beautiful, like, their skin showing aging, I genuinely see as a really good thing. And I want to see more of that personally. I want to see less photo editing in general to help people get a real grasp of what actual skin looks like. But that could just be me. You tell me what you think. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, let's leave the magnifying glass, shall we? I think it's a fitting emoji. Thanks again to Typology for sponsoring this video. Remember to click my link in the description box below to get your free bi-phase eye makeup remover when you spend $40 or more, but it's only valid for 1 week after this video goes live, so you better move fast. And a special thanks to all of my patrons, especially to my Trash Panda enablers who helped to inspire the video which you're watching right now. Birgit, Carrie Quake, Jam, Mila Gautier, Stella Sapiente, Tammy Poitras, Tim Long, Tonya Beignet, Trail Mix 305. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you again soon because I'm working on my crunchy to alt-right pipeline video. I've been reading a lot of books at the moment, honestly, on this. I keep on going down many different rabbit holes, and people keep on doing more and more weird stuff which I want to include, so I feel like that's going to be a big video. So you better get prepared for that. Why not subscribe if you haven't yet, because I would love to have you join this little community here, because I do have a goal of hitting 100,000 by the end of this year, and I would love to achieve that. I really would. Anyway, lovelies, I'll see you all next time. Bye!